Pay close attention to this video. A couple was getting married and everyone around them was congratulating the couple. At that moment, a woman arrived and walked up to the groom and the two began to celebrate. Another woman asks the bride why the man's friend is there. The friend then tells her fiancé that she would never miss his wedding. The man then tells his friend that he wanted to introduce his wife to her. This makes the bride very furious and she starts from the cake. The man says that he hasn't seen his friend in a long time and that he would have loved to have introduced her to his fiancé. Hearing this, the bride is very furious and starts cutting the cake, but says that it was a pleasure to meet her fiancé's friend. The bride says that all she wanted to do was cut the cake right away and finish it. The man's friend says they should sit down and talk about their lives. As they leave, the other man told the bride that she shouldn't let that happen, as he didn't think it was right for the man to bring his best friend to the wedding. The bride then tells her friend that he needn't worry as she knew exactly what she needed to do and picks up a piece of the cake she was cutting. The bride then takes a piece of the cake and goes to them. She then throws the cake at her friend, but says it was an accident. The friend says it's okay because it was just an accident. At this point, the man asks to talk to his fiancée, but she says that she had already apologized to his friend. Outside, the man asks what was going on for his fiancée and she said she didn't like his friend being there. The man then says that his friend was just a little excited as they hadn't seen each other in a long time. The woman says that wasn't an excuse for them to be so close, but the man says she was just too affectionate. He then said that this was no problem as he loved his fiancée very much. The man tells his fiancée that he needs to go to the bathroom and that she doesn't have to worry about the situation. He would come back. The bride says that she understands what the man was saying, but that his friend should also understand that this was their wedding and that she shouldn't do that. The man says that soon they would be married and it wouldn't matter anymore and then goes to the bathroom. At that moment, the friend says that she needed to go to the bathroom to clean herself and she ends up realizing that the man was also going to the bathroom. As the man was coming out of the bathroom, he runs into his friend. She then asks him what he was doing in the women's restroom, but he corrects her by saying that that was the men's restroom. She then says that she had been confused. The man says she's always been that way and tells them to come back to the party. She then asks the man to wait. That she would go to the bathroom for them to go to the wedding together. He said he would wait there. Meanwhile, her friend begins to clean up. She says that the man's fiancé had smeared her arm with cake, but the man asks her not to care about it. The friend then asks the man to help her and after he helps her, she hugs him saying that he always helped her a lot. The man then puts the towel back in the bathroom and tells them to come back for the wedding. Meanwhile, the other man was waiting for them to return and at that moment, the bride goes to him. He asked what had happened and the bride says that now she wanted to dance with him and they start dancing. At this moment, the man arrives there, sees what was happening and decides to dance with his friend. This makes the bride furious and she leaves, leaving the man not understanding what was going on. The friend then says that she needed to ask the man something, as she had been thinking about it for a long time. She said she loved the man and asks if he loved her too. He doesn't respond when he sees his fiancée leaving, he runs after her. The friend asks him to come back, but he doesn't. He then fails to reach his fiancée and asks her not to run anymore. She then asks him if he loved his friend. He says no, but she says he hadn't answered. The friend. He says he hadn't answered, because it was a surprise to him and that he didn't want to hurt his friend. The bride said that she couldn't believe her fiancé, but the man says that all he wanted to do was make everyone happy and for that reason, he didn't respond as he didn't love his friend and didn't want to hurt her. He said that this was his wedding. He said that his fiancé was creating trouble unnecessarily, because he loved her very much and wanted to marry her. The bride then asks the man if he really loved her and wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. He says that all he wanted was to spend the rest of his life with his fiancée, as he loved her so much. The bride asks him if he really didn't like his friend and he says no, because the one he loved was his fiancée and tells them to come back for the wedding. They then go back to the wedding, and then the man said he needed to say a few words to his fiancée. He says it was a dream come true because he was marrying the person he loved most in the world. He says that the way she treated him won his heart, that for that reason he was very happy to be by her side. He said he valued his relationship very much, said he loved her very much. At this point, the friend arrives and says that she needed to say that she was very happy that they were together. The man is surprised by this, and as the friend leaves, the bride says she needs to talk to her. The bride then goes after her friend and asks her to wait, but the friend says she didn't want to talk to the bride. She said that she hadn't come very far to see her fiancé be happy with the man in her life, and that she suffered a lot knowing that this was happening. The bride then tells her friend that they need to talk and then closes the gate for them to have privacy. She then tells her friend that she knew that their relationship was very important to her fiancé, but she also knew that they had broken up for a reason. She says that even though she didn't know what that reason was, she knew that God was preparing something much better for her friend. She said that she knew that everything would work out for her friend, that she would also find the love of her life, but that she needed to be patient. The friend then asks if the bride really thought she would find the love of her life. The bride said she was sure it would happen, but that her friend needed to be patient. She said that everything would work out, but that her friend needed to wait for it to happen. The friend then said that she hoped that would happen too and hugs the bride. The bride then tells them to come back for the wedding. They would then go back to the wedding, and later, the bride would throw a bouquet for the guests to pick up. When she was about to throw the bouquet, the friend asked the other man if he wouldn't try to pick it up, but he said that it didn't make sense and that he wouldn't participate. The bride says he shouldn't think that way, so he should try to get the bouquet too. He then gives up trying to argue and stands next to his friend to try to get the bouquet. The bride then says that she was getting ready to throw the block, and when she throws it, the one who manages to catch it was her friend, which makes everyone very happy.